Hello everyone, my name is Sayak Roy and welcome to another brand new episode of Let's Talk Sports. In this video, we are going to discuss about the ongoing ICC World T20 Championship. And now that ICC has finally managed to put the world in the World Cup, 20 teams, beautiful format, 4 different groups. What I wanted to discuss in this video was the current state of play in this particular competition at this point of time. Now, as I speak, the India-Pakistan marquee clash is about 4 hours away. Huge anticipation in there, as is always the case with India versus Pakistan. But what I wanted to, like I said, was look a little from a higher perspective and see that what are the different situations or scenarios that's playing out in the different groups of this World Cup competition. With that in mind, and without wasting any further time, let's jump into the discussion. We are going to go group by group. I have the laptop along with me so that I can see the possible scenarios playing out. And in this specific groups, we will see what are the positions of the different teams that are participating in this particular group. Now, first up, Group A, the high voltage group, India versus Pakistan, like I said a little while later. But apart from that, there are obviously 3 other different teams, which are Canada, Ireland, and the hosts, United States of America. So beautifully poised this group is. Now, at the time of recording this, there are 2 teams, India and Pakistan, which has played just 1 match. The remaining have played 2 each. The highlight of the group so far has been USA defeating Pakistan, and that has opened up a plethora of possibilities. Now, if I look at it, the general theme, I think because it's played, some of the matches were in New York, and there are still 3 more to go in New York. Now, that has been the talk of the town. The low-scoring pitches, the pitch has been not playing out very well. There is debate going on whether it's the best way to promote a sport in a new country with pitches like this. But having said all that, it is the same for both the teams. India versus Pakistan would be great to see what happens in this pitch. But this has been the theme. Now, in that low-scoring kind of competition, right now, the scenario is that Pakistan are very trickily poised. Right? Pakistan face India almost in a do-or-die battle. If Pakistan lose this one against India, it would be very, very difficult for them to go beyond the group stages. So, make no mistake, Pakistan, wounded tigers, they would be coming out rearing in the India-Pakistan match today. So India versus Pakistan is very tricky for Pakistan, especially more important for Pakistan if you look at it, because Pakistan right now have played 1 and lost. For India, it's a little bit easier. They can breathe a little bit easier. They have played 1 match against Ireland, won it comfortably. Ideally, if they win against Pakistan, it makes life easier for them. Then they probably just need to win 1 more against USA and Canada. That are the 2 matches that they would have left with. So better for India situation-wise. But India-Pakistan is beyond all that. High voltage match. Whoever holds their nerve better will probably sustain. Right? And Pakistan have had the better of India in a T20 World Cup once. Let's see what happens. But obviously, that's the state of play regarding India and Pakistan. Now, who else? USA. Played 2, won 2, including 1 against Pakistan. USA have made headlines and they have done the best, put forward the best possible foot in terms of when they are hosting the competition at their own backyard. Now, for USA, obviously, it's very, very interesting. They've already played against Pakistan. They have already played also against Canada. Both of them, they won very comfortably. Pakistan was super over, but their spirit, and I felt that they were mostly ahead in the game for most part of the game. Now, USA has left matches against India and Ireland. If they win against Ireland and if Pakistan lose against India, it could be curtains for Pakistan. If these 2 scenario plays out, Pakistan can only go till 4. USA will be at least 6. So in that scenario, it's USA going to the next round and Pakistan taking the flight back home. So very, very well poised. Very 2 crucial matches, Pakistan versus India, which is later today. And the other one is, I think, USA versus Ireland. That is in the 14th of June. It would be in Lauderhill, a new venue. We have not seen matches over there yet, so we do not know what the pitch would be like, what are the things, so on. But USA versus Ireland and India versus Pakistan, the two key matches that will probably decide the fate of this group. Unfortunately, for Ireland and Canada, things look a little bleak. Especially Ireland, they have played 2, lost 2. Very difficult to come back in such a group where only 2 out of 5 teams go through. So very, very difficult for Ireland. They have USA and Pakistan, so we can almost consider them virtually knocked out. For Canada, they have won 1. I think the match they won was against Ireland. But for them also, I think it's USA and Pakistan. USA would be very spirited after their performances in the last 2 matches. For Pakistan, obviously, it would always be difficult. Susceptible to upsets, as we have already seen. But even if they win one of those, it would be difficult. So I think from the groups, the minimum you would have to hope for is that you win 3 and then think. A very unlikely scenario that you make through if you win 2 matches out of the 4. All of them plays 4 matches each. So that's the scenario, and that's how it's looking like in Group A. Now, let's go to Group B. Now, Group B is very well poised again. At this particular time, all the teams have played 2 matches each. So that helps us. Now, it is unfortunate that one match of these matches did get washed out. So England versus Scotland it was. Scotland looked very, very spirited in whatever game that was played. They scored 90, I think, of 10 overs. And it could well have been trouble for England, but what if, could if, and things like that. But from whatever has played out over here, I think Australia, the clear favourites, they showed they were the first team to score 200 yesterday in the match against England. They took the attack to the opposition and played beautifully. Played 2, 1-2, great net run rate as well. Australia look favourites to get out, progress to the next round. And they also have 2 easy matches. So I'm seeing that it's Namibia and Scotland. So very easy, should be easy, not very easy. In T20, no match is easy, as we have already seen in the tournament. But Australia should make it through. Unfortunately, for Oman and Namibia, I think it's difficult. So Oman has lost both, played 2 and lost both. They lost against Namibia, I think, the first match, and then the other match that they lost against Australia. So both of the matches they have lost, very difficult. Namibia has 2 points on the board. They have played 2 and won 1. That was the match against Oman. But even for them, I think Namibia has England and Australia up next. So very unlikely that they will probably make through. The story, though, is between England and Scotland. So now England, the reigning world champions, they have lost both the matches that they have played so far. Scotland, on the other hand, got 1 point from the washout match. And after that, they have also went ahead and defeated Namibia. So now Scotland has 3 points from 2 matches. So that's a good 3 points more than what England has. Now, England has to play Oman and Namibia. Both of the matches, ideally they should win. Scotland, though, has 1 match against Oman and the other one against Australia. Now, even if we consider for the sake of the argument that Australia might be difficult to beat, Oman should be doable. With the form that we have seen the Scottish play with in the last few tournaments as well, Scotland should be able to, or should consider themselves, fancy themselves against Oman. Now, what happens if Scotland wins against Oman? Right? They reached to 5 points. And guess what? It is not possible for England to go to 5 points from here onwards. England has 2 matches left and they can only get as far as 4. In such a scenario, they would have to hope that Australia lose both their matches, which are against, as we have discussed, Namibia and Scotland. Very unlikely. So is it curtains for England? Probably yes, because the match against Oman and Scotland is on the very next 9th. So that's today, in fact. And so I think the match starts 2.5 hours. So if Scotland wins against Oman, England are facing the group stage exit, ignominy of group stage exit from the tournament in which they were reigning champions last year. Very, very interesting. Okay, moving on. Group C. In Group C, again, this was titled as the Group of Death because it had three very strong contenders: Afghanistan, New Zealand, and West Indies. New Zealand, we all know, has always punches above their weight in ICC tournaments. West Indies hosts two-time world champions, and Afghanistan, they have come up in leaps and bounds. I was just talking the other day that they have as many as 7 to 8 IPL regulars in the starting lineup right now. So very, very interesting. Now, there's a change in venue. So all the matches were played in the Providence till now. And now I think the next few matches would be in Tarouba, where we have not seen any match. So it would be interesting to see how the pitch plays out over there. But otherwise, what are the teams? So apart from Afghanistan, West Indies, and New Zealand, there is Papua New Guinea and Uganda. Who would have thought we would have taken these countries' names while discussing a World Cup cricket tournament? Fantastic. But having said that, again, it's very, very difficult for PNG and Uganda probably to make it through past this group. Now, Uganda has already played 3. They won 1 match. Beautiful story. I think the match they won was against Papua New Guinea. So it was lovely to see the celebrations and so on. Papua New Guinea, I think they have played 2 matches and have lost both. So for either of these teams, it would be very, very unlikely that they go past the group stages. In that case, what are we left with? The remaining 3. And we have had 1 match between this trio. That's New Zealand versus Afghanistan, and Afghanistan gave New Zealand a shocker. They bowled them out for a paltry total. I think New Zealand got all out for 75 runs. And Afghanistan scored 159. So huge result in favor of Afghanistan. Now what that does is Afghanistan now has PNG and West Indies as their next 2 matches, and they're already sitting pretty on top of the table on 4 points. West Indies also sure, but below on net run rate. They are also on 4 points, and they have New Zealand and Afghanistan. So 2 the more difficult matches in the group still to play. So it could get tricky for West Indies, whereas for Afghanistan, I think considering the net run rate that they are boasting of, +5, they should make it through unless they lose horribly in the last 2 matches. And for New Zealand, already had a setback. I think even if we consider that they would beat Uganda and Papua New Guinea, in that case, they would have to win against West Indies. I think that's the match that they have left with. So West Indies versus New Zealand is the next match in this group, and that's on 13th of June. So it would be very interesting to see. If New Zealand lose, I think it's easy for Afghanistan and West Indies. I think they progress in that scenario. But if New Zealand happen to win against West Indies, in that case, it could very well open up possibilities of a 3-way tie between New Zealand, Afghanistan, and West Indies. Would be very interesting to see, but do or die match for New Zealand. They have to make sure they get past the line in the next match against West Indies. So that is how this group is playing out. Again, very interesting scenarios all around. Who will make out of West Indies, Afghanistan, and New Zealand? Time will tell. But the key match is right now New Zealand versus West Indies. That's next. Okay, moving on. Group D. Again, in this group, matches have been played across multiple venues. I can see Dallas, New York. So no clear trend. Even the next 2 matches are also in multiple venues. There's one in New York, a few of them in Kingstown. So no clear trend emerging in terms of venue. But for Sri Lanka, there's a trend. They have played 2, lost 2. So it would be difficult for Sri Lanka to come back from here onwards and get them past the group stages. Could be tight, but not over, at least theoretically. But they have matches to play against Nepal and Netherlands. So should be matches that they win. However, Netherlands have fancied themselves. Even last night, they played brilliantly against South Africa, and South Africa just about managed to avoid the scare. But again, the last 2 ICC tournaments, Netherlands had beaten South Africa. So I do not know whether I should say that South Africa avoided a scare. Maybe it's a missed opportunity for Netherlands. But that aside, for Sri Lanka, I think the Bangladesh match would hurt them that they lost. Now they have Nepal and Netherlands up ahead. Should be aiming to win too, I think, but could be very difficult for Sri Lanka to get past this group stages from here on. For Nepal, again, one match, only what we have seen. I think in the one match that they played was they got out for 106, 5 odd runs against Netherlands. So again, could be difficult. It's a difficult group for Nepal. Probably they might as well go winless because I can see Sri Lanka, South Africa, Bangladesh. So for any of these matches for Nepal to win, they would have to play a very, very good game of cricket. So could be difficult, but then again, it's lovely to see such nations. I mean, Nepal, I do not know, the population would be very less, and for them to come out and play in a World Cup cricketing tournament is fantastic. Netherlands, I think they have been the surprise participants in the last few ICC tournaments. When ICC decided to reduce the number of teams in ODI World Cups to 10, even then Netherlands managed to sneak in at the cost of West Indies, as we all say. So beautiful. Even yesterday, I think it was a heartbreak. They could have done, they did very well to reduce South Africa at 3 for 3. And from there onwards, I think a brilliant knock from David Miller and Christian Stubbs that got them out of the jail. But right now they have played 2 and got 2 points on board. They still have to play Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Now, I am not putting it beyond them that they can defeat either of these two sides. So very much possible. So we will have to keep an eye on this, that whether Netherlands can probably, I do not know whether to call it an upset, but can pull a result in favor of them. And then that would make it very, very interesting. Especially the match against Bangladesh, because Bangladesh still very much in contention. So could be the one. For Bangladesh, I think they have South Africa and Nepal other than Netherlands. South Africa would be tricky now that they are on the roll, played 2 and 1-2 already for South Africa. So could be tricky, but they have managed to get the good start, and it would be interesting and important that they continue this good run. So right now they have 2 points from one match. So interesting story ahead. For South Africa, I think yesterday's match should be morale boosting for them, because these are matches that boosts you up as teams. They dug themselves a hole against the Dutch, but managed to successfully get out of the hole as well. They have Bangladesh and Nepal lined up for them. For Bangladesh and Nepal, I think both should be matches they should win, but as is the case with South Africa, you never know, right? And so always difficult, but beautiful. So over here, I think South Africa should be well poised among most other teams. And I am seeing it as a contest between Bangladesh and Netherlands, that either of these two manage to go through. Okay, so that's about it. And just the last segment, quick prediction, as I love to do. I think let's just quickly see. I think if we go back to Group A, I think the two teams, I am thinking that it could be Pakistan's curtains for Pakistan in this group stage. So my bet is on India and USA going out, qualifying from Group A. So that's what I am thinking. For Group B, I think again, similar story, curtains for England, and it is Australia versus Scotland. It's Australia and Scotland, which I see as going past group stages in Group B. In Group C, I really like what I saw of Afghanistan. So I think Afghanistan is clearly one of the teams. West Indies versus New Zealand is absolutely 50-50. I will probably think New Zealand will win against West Indies, but they have taken a beating in terms of their net run rate. So it's minus 4.2 right now. So I think even though New Zealand wins against West Indies, it ends up in a three-way tie at 6-6-6 for Afghanistan, New Zealand, West Indies. And I'll stick my neck out and say that it's Afghanistan and West Indies which qualifies from here. Last, South Africa, and over here, again, I cannot see how Bangladesh goes through, or I feel it's difficult, not cannot see. Bangladesh can definitely go through, but I think it should be Holland based on whatever I have seen again from them. So very gusty team. They play a firebrand brand of cricket. So I am putting my money on Netherlands along with South Africa, of course. So these are my 8 teams that I feel would probably go through from the group stages. But fascinating times ahead. I think 22 matches still left in the group stages. Plenty to look forward to, lip-smacking rivalries as well as matches ahead. So let's hope for a fascinating remainder of the ICC World T20, right? And especially the group stages. Okay, time to bid goodbye. But before I go, like I always say, please try to like, share and subscribe the video as well as the channel. It would help us to reach a more audience and probably interact with a lot many more of you. Till then, enjoy the India-Pakistan match. Enjoy the rest of the World T20. Have a good time. Bye-bye.